Hi there, my name is Cyndall Johnston. I've been in the industrial hemp industry for 3.5 years, and in the last year or so, the most frequently asked question that I've been getting is, what is the difference between CBD oil and hemp seed oil? Another question, when are you bringing CBD oil in? And so I thought today, on the historical day in time, I guess it's not historical, but it's history-making day, I guess, when the Cannabis Act comes into effect and all of these cannabinoids become legally accessible, and there's a lot of new regulations that we need to know about, and changes are taking place as we speak. So I thought today would be a great day to make a video explaining the differences and talking a little bit more about the most trending topic I've seen in a long time, CBD. All right, so I have compiled a whole bunch of information that I will review with you. I'm just going to switch to share my screen and we'll get started. So you should now be looking at a table that I've made. I just have this thing in my way that I can't see the table. I don't think it's showing in your way, but I just need to figure out how to move it. If you can bear with me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, so CBD is also known as cannabidiol, and then we have hemp oil. Some CBD has been called hemp oil. Some hemp seed oil has been called hemp oil. In this instance, I'm talking about CBD oil derived from industrial hemp versus hemp seed oil. So both of them are derived from industrial hemp. CBD is actually non-essential, and the reason I say that is because we actually have an endocannabinoid system in our bodies. It's already making CBD as well as many other cannabinoids in our body. It's quite complex. We have cannabinoid receptors in our body, CB1 and CB2. There are two different types. Scientists are now looking at a possible CB3. So it's quite complex. But when I learned about the endocannabinoid system 3.5 years ago, I was breastfeeding my son and discovered that I was actually producing CBD through my breast milk for my baby, along with all of the other cannabinoids. And I thought, okay, so clearly our bodies are designed for the cannabis plant. Isn't that interesting? So hemp seed oil, on the other side of things, is actually providing essential nutrition. So the hemp seeds themselves contain 11 nutrients. So 2 of those are essential fatty acids, which are your omega-3 and omega-6, scientifically known as alpha-linoleic acid and linoleic acid, if you cared. The other 9 essential nutrients that are in the hemp seed are amino acids, which are the building blocks to protein. And so the reason they're called essential fatty acids and essential amino acids, and I call them essential nutrition, is because our bodies don't manufacture those things. We have to get them from the foods that we eat and put them into our body via our diet. So they're actually critical for our well-being. In fact, your brain is like 60% fat. It very much relies on these essential fatty acids. Your eyes are made up of a lot of fat. Your entire body has a lot of need for these fats, as well as the essential amino acids, the building blocks for protein, which build your muscles. Without muscles, we would probably be blobs rolling around. So that's why I say essential versus non-essential. Moving on to the next comparison, CBD is actually extracted using CO2, solvents such as ethanol, or they can be created, isolated using specific temperatures, so using microwaves, etc. The issue I see with these things is that CO2 is actually a large part of our global warming issue, our greenhouse gas emissions. CO2 is not a healthy thing for our bodies. Solvents such as ethanol are quite toxic as well. Personally, if I was to choose a CBD product, it would be in a decarboxylated form, which I believe would be the most natural way to put that isolated cannabinoid in my body. However, knowing about our endocannabinoid system and all of the different cannabinoids that are in our bodies and are in different plants, so we don't just talk about CBD and THC, although those are the most talked about ones. We also have CBN, CBG, THCV, THCA. There's a huge amount of cannabinoids within this spectrum. And so when we're talking about phytocannabinoids, which are cannabinoids made by plants, such as the cannabis plant, interestingly enough, it's also made by cacao, echinacea, and there's other plants that contain phytocannabinoids. But if we're looking to just supplement one out of the spectrum, whether that's THC to make us high, CBD to provide whatever benefits, could we possibly be creating an imbalance in our bodies and the natural endocannabinoid system that occurs? So that's something that I've been wondering. I'm not against any of these things, but it is something that I'm curious about. So moving over to the hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil is cold pressed from a whole food, leaving it in a raw, natural state. So essentially we've got this beautiful hemp plant. It flowers. The flower is been not allowed to be harvested by the farmers because it contains CBD. Same with the leaves and the bracts of the plant. And so since 1998, these farmers have had to waste part of their crop, which is sad because this CBD has always been a controlled substance, so they weren't allowed to extract it. But okay, so we look at this beautiful flower, it actually turns to seeds in nature where there's a male and a female plant. In, say, grow up, they remove the males so that they don't pollinate the females, and that's why that flower won't turn to seed. But provided that there's male and female plant, the flower naturally has a whole bunch of cannabinoids in it, and it turns to seed. Do you think the cannabinoids just go up into thin air? No, they remain in the plant. So even though the concentration of the cannabinoids in the seed is less than the concentration in the flower and is not a significant isolated cannabinoid, there's still naturally occurring cannabinoids in that beautiful natural complex ratio. So we've got the CBD and the THC and the CBDN and the THCV and THCA in the beautiful natural state that it's in. So we take this seed off of the plant. You could eat it like it is. It's a little bit crunchy. Of course, I'm not allowed to sell them raw off of the plant because God forbid you could grow that seed into a hemp plant and build your own house with it. That's a different topic. And I love to talk about that if you're interested. But anyways, the seed is taken in its raw natural state, pressed in a cold press, and there you have it. That's hemp seed oil. You can eat it as a food. You can take the outside shell off. It's not crunchy. It's soft, tastes very natural, like a little bit of a nut flavor, and it's a great whole food. You can actually live off of hemp and water. It's so nutritious, the hemp seeds themselves. So CBD is quite costly, like probably up to 10 times as much as hemp seed oil, but I would say at least 4 times as expensive as hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil is a fraction of the price because it's a food. It can be bought at any health food store, grocery store, or from hempy.ca, or any of our suppliers. And the market is quite large. It's actually a food that is honestly got so much nutrition in it that it would be a shame if you didn't feed it to your entire family. So it's not something that shouldn't be fed to children, and we got to be careful about who we sell it to or anything like that. So as I mentioned, CBD is derived from the leaves, flowers, and bracts of the plant mid-season. So that's before that flower would go to seed, provided that it was fertilized by the male. Hemp seed oil, as I said, is derived from the seeds of the plant at full maturity. So CBD, this has changed a little bit as of today, and I didn't update my comparison chart, so I do apologize. So CBD can be legally accessible to people who hold a medical marijuana license and purchase it from a licensed producer. That hasn't changed. What has changed is that now you can go to any of the licensed dispensaries as of today and purchase it without a medical marijuana license. But you can't purchase it from the public and be sold to anybody and everybody. It's not legally accessible that way. Where hemp seed oil is widely available to the public, it's legal to be sold to any person in any age group across Canada. The CBD, because it's processed and isolated, I consider it a supplement, where the hemp seed oil is derived from a whole food. I believe that food heals, cures, and prevents in terms of nourishing the body and giving it everything that it needs. So the next slide that I have compares the benefits of CBD to the benefits of hemp seed oil. When I look at all of the different hype that's been created about CBD and all of the claims that I've been seeing made and all of the testimonials that I've seen and people feeling so much better, and I compare them to the information that I've researched in terms of the nutritional benefits, in terms of the reviews that I've heard from my clients, the testimonials that they feel so much better, not just them, but their horses, their dogs, their cats, all of these pets are feeling so much better from hemp seed oil. And I'm going, okay, so people are paying 4 times as much to get relief from pain when my clients are saying their dogs are jumping on furniture again and they're just fine, and that their knees don't ache anymore and their hips don't hurt and their shoulders don't hurt and they can get a better sleep and their digestive system is working like $1,000,000 and their brain's working better and all of these things. I'm going, okay, well, I'm going to put a comparison chart together. So they're claiming pain relief and natural anti-inflammatory, and hemp seed oil has provided pain relief for me initially. That's why I started this. I have half a jaw joint on this side of my face, grinded my teeth for 8 years. So as a long-term effect, I've got chronic pain forever. The dentist's solution delivered to me before I discovered hemp seed oil was to break my jaw, wire it shut, feed me through a straw for 2 years, $10,000 please. I'm really grateful that I found hemp seed oil because I don't live in pain anymore. My pain doesn't come and go. On a day like today, I'll tell you, I've smoked weed. It helps short term. My pain would come and go. It would be gone while I was high. A couple of hours later, my pain would come back. I would have to smoke again to get the relief and smoke again. My bank account didn't like it. And the stigma 3.5 years ago was not like it is today. So you can't just smoke everywhere you go. I didn't know a lot about hemp seed oil, didn't think it would be much different than smoking marijuana, and I could not believe that I had no pain. So I learned why. I learned the science behind how hemp seed oil works nutritionally in the body to heal things, and I wanted to share that with others. And so a huge part of my business has been helping other people relieve pain and live a more joyful, free life where you're not in pain all the time. Moving along, they've claimed that hemp CBD oil relieves anxiety, depression, and stress. hemp seed oil supports your mental health. Like I mentioned, the brain is 60% essential fatty acids. You need those omega-3, 6 to have a healthy brain. Being a natural anti-inflammatory, if you've got any inflammation of the brain that's causing any of those things. The B vitamins in hemp seeds alone reduces stress. We know that. We know that we can go for a B complex vitamin at the drugstore if we're looking for stress relief. And there's just so much. Like, the other part of me grinding my teeth for 8 years and being in pain because of it is that I used to grind my teeth every night. So when I started taking hemp seed oil, my husband stopped waking me up in the middle of the night grinding my teeth. Teeth grinding is stress and anxiety. I can guarantee you that hemp seed oil has helped relieve my anxiety and stress and help me sleep healthier. Boosting the immune system, yes, CBD and the other cannabinoids have been linked to the immune system because of all of the essential nutrition, including vitamins and minerals that are, there's a lot of vitamins and minerals in the hemp seed that help the immune system. I've heard that CBD relieves nausea. I've also known that hemp seed oil relieves nausea and promotes a healthy digestive system. I've had many people tell me, you know, my poops are healthier and lots of things like that. So I had one lady who was nauseous all the time. Now she doesn't go without taking hemp seed oil and she feels great. So cardiovascular health is your heart and blood pressure, cholesterol levels, all of that sort of stuff. I've had lots of testimonials about how hemp seed oil has reduced blood pressure or improved cholesterol. And it's a vasodilator, so it opens your blood vessels to work the way that they should. It's got high levels of iron, and of course that's a huge thing as terms of blood and heart health as well. Seizures. Yes, CBD has been said to treat seizures. It's interesting to me, I had a friend who had a big dog who decided to eat her cat. Not eat it like actually, just take its head in its mouth enough to cause brain damage. And the result was seizures regularly, frequently. She put the cat on hemp seed oil, no more seizures. So clearly the hemp seed helps with that as well. Blood sugar, I've been told that some people have stabilized their blood sugar in thanks of hemp seed oil. I don't know enough about, like, I've never distributed CBD. It's always been a controlled substance. I don't have a lot of experience in terms of, you know, comparing one to the other, but it's amazing to me. I've had lots of people come to me. They were introduced to CBD, then they decided to try hemp seed oil instead to save money and because it was more easily accessible. And they're like, this must have CBD in it. It must be the same. I don't feel any different. I still feel great. So I encourage people to try, if they believe that CBD oil helps them, to try hemp seed oil and just see if there's even a difference, because your pocketbook might be a lot happier and it's a lot easier to access. I know technically if I wanted to legally access CBD today, the closest place I can get it is in Calgary, 2-hour drive one way. I'm driving 4 hours just to get legal CBD today, where I can go to the grocery store in town or my basement in my warehouse and get hemp seed oil. And yeah, it's just cheaper and helps the same in my experience. Lastly, CBD has had side effects being reported, and I honestly wonder, the long-term effects are still being studied, but in terms of CO2 and ethanol and whatever sort of processing and manufacturing happens behind the scenes, whether it's, I don't know, anything made in a lab to me is a little bit less trustworthy than something that just grows and is naturally occurring. So again, hemp seed oil, I know of no side effects. I have heard of a few people that didn't tolerate it well, but it naturally acts like a probiotic. So the first thing it does is kind of clean out your digestive system. So you want to introduce it kind of slowly at first, or else you could have diarrhea. But that usually resolves within a week or so when your body begins to do other more important things with it. So that's the only side effect I've ever heard of with hemp seeds, but it's something that is not long-term, and in my opinion, food heals, cures, and prevents, as I mentioned. So one of the things now that I'm going to address is I've been questioned quite a bit on what are the side effects of CBD oil. I don't know of any side effects of CBD oil. Why are you making these claims? So let me new share. No, I want to share which one. I think I have too many windows open on my computer. You never do that, I'm sure. Just kidding. Okay, so if you Google side effects of CBD, there's several sources that could be trustworthy, and there's several sources that might not be trustworthy. But the three that I've kind of decided that I can trust are Healthline, WebMD, and NCBI. NCBI is absolutely amazing. They've got so many scientific research articles and all sorts of things. So I frequently refer to them for my information. I'll actually click it and you can see how scientific it gets. And a lot of it is kind of like, wow, can any human being actually read this and understand it all? Which is, I'm kind of a nerd and I love research. So to me, science and research have points. So what I look for in these is specifically the conclusion. It's pretty long and dry to read the whole thing, but it says that they're still studying the effects, especially if it has an effect on hormones. And okay, so the results are that studied for seizures, the most commonly reported side effects were tiredness, diarrhea, and changes in appetite or weight. In comparison with other drugs used for treatment of these medical conditions, CBD has a better side effect profile. So if I go back, you can see that Healthline was listing anxiety and depression, which sometimes CBD does the opposite and helps with those things. Again, so does hemp seed oil. Psychosis, I have never heard of anybody telling me that. I have heard of people saying that they have experienced not so good digestive symptoms of it. More commonly, dry mouth, dizziness, and fatigue was on here somewhere, I thought. But anyways, this is where I am deciding that I could make those claims on the charts. So just so you know. Next is legalization, and what does that look like? And is CBD still a controlled substance? Where do I get it if I do want it? And that sort of thing. So on September 25th, I got an email from a business coach at Business Link in Edmonton. I was trying to get a hold of Health Canada, as was he, and I thought, because he's got more authority, because he kind of works for a division and helps businesses and whatever, I had been in conversation with him saying, hey, lots of people are asking me if I can bring CBD oil in. As far as I can interpret from the regulations, I cannot. Can you please verify what's going on? And he's like, I got a million people asking me, and I've been telling them that CBD oil is legal if it's derived from industrial hemp. Are you telling me that I've been misinforming people? And I said yes. And so he did everything in his power to get a hold of Health Canada and get confirmation. So this email came in September 25th to Dale at Business Link. It gives a little bit of background information, talks about the Cannabis Act and the kind of history. I'm not going to read this in full because it is a little bit lengthy. Essentially, at the bottom here is specific to what I wanted to know. So regarding your inquiry, cannabidiol, CBD, is a component of cannabis which is a controlled substance. I already knew that. I've seen the Controlled Substance Act. It's clearly defined in there. It has been for years. Activities with cannabis, including CBD oil products, are generally prohibited except as authorized under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. For example, under the ACMPR, which is the medical marijuana where you get a prescription, patients who have the support of their healthcare practitioner can purchase cannabis for medical purposes, including CBD oil, from a licensed producer by Health Canada. Activities with CBD will remain prohibited except as permitted under the Cannabis Act. This will include controls on possession, manufacturing, sale, and distribution. So essentially, I can't bring it in, and it's controlled as far as the licensed dispensaries that open today. Within Alberta, there's 17 of them. If you're in a different province, your province is responsible for determining how it's able to be sold, where it's able to be sold, and that sort of thing. You may have more than 17 locations, but that is currently the framework as far as where CBD can be legally accessed outside of the medical marijuana license and ordering from a licensed producer. So into a little bit more detail, the Cannabis Act defines cannabis as a cannabis plant and anything referred to in Schedule 1, but does not include anything referred to in Schedule 2. So, Schedule 1 says that any part of the cannabis plant, including phytocannabinoids, so that's any cannabinoid made by a plant, produced by or found in such a plant, regardless of what that part has been, whether that part has been processed or not, other than a part of the plant referred to in Schedule 2, which I'll show you in a minute. Any substance or mixture of substances that contains or has on it any part of such a plant, any substance that is identical to any phytocannabinoid produced by or found in such a plant, regardless of how the substance was obtained. So, interestingly, I've seen some new CBD oils come to market that aren't derived from cannabis. And what this is saying is that regardless of whether it comes from a cannabis plant or not, if you're selling a phytocannabinoid, CBD being one of them, you're not allowed to sell it. Schedule 2, so to remind you, anything referred to in Schedule 2 is not considered cannabis. So this is considered cannabis. Schedule 2 says a non-viable seed of a cannabis plant. So that means when I can sell a hemp seed, it has to be either hulled, which means the outside crunchy shell is removed, or toasted, and the heat destroys its ability to grow. So non-viable means it cannot sprout and grow into a plant. The next exemption is a mature stalk without any leaf, flower, seed, or branch of such plant. So the either the outer fiber or the inner woody core of the hemp stalk is exempt. Fiber derived from a stalk referred to in item 2, or the root of any part of the root of such a plant. So I can sell the roots now. Not that I've seen those on market. Next, so I've had some people saying, wait, I heard that hemp oil is going to be illegal as of October 17th. And I'm going, I haven't heard anything about that. So I love research, thankfully, and this natural health product application. So essentially this says that as of October 17th, natural health products, which are, supplements and natural, like vitamins and whatever, can only contain cannabis parts which either do not meet the definition of cannabis in the Cannabis Act or that have been exempted from the Cannabis Act through the industrial hemp regulations. These ingredients are, so what is still legal is for me to sell non-viable seeds or roots of the cannabis plant, mature cannabis stalks without leaves, flowers, seeds, or bracts, fiber from the stalk, and derivatives that are compliant with the industrial hemp regulations. So, of course, in addition, the above ingredients must not contain more than 10 parts per million THC or phytocannabinoids that have been isolated or concentrated. So none of our products contain significant amounts of any cannabinoid. Of course, there are naturally occurring cannabinoids in very low levels in the hemp seeds and the hemp seed oil, of course. But if you're selling any cannabinoid, including CBD, as it's been isolated, it's concentrated, and it's over 10 parts per million, which is very little, by the way. If you convert 10 parts per million to milligrams, it's like a fraction of a milligram or something crazy. It's not anything significant. So any previously approved natural health products such as hemp seed oil, hemp seed protein will be unaffected by the transition to the new legislative framework and can continue to be marketed as they are now. So a little peace of mind if you were wondering if you're selling hemp seeds or hemp seed oil and you're not sure, this is, all of this references are on the Health Canada website. And lastly, what will be legal once the Cannabis Act comes into force? So essentially you can purchase limited amounts of fresh, dried oils, seeds to grow, or plants from retailers authorized by the provinces and territories. So this is the important part. You're not allowed to purchase it from somebody selling it at a trade show or a farmer's market or out of their house or anything like that. In Alberta, the 17 retailers that open today are the only stores that you can legally now purchase CBD oil or any derivative or dried product. You can possess it, consume it, grow up to 4 plants per household. You can share it with other adults. Of course, you have to be careful that it doesn't get into the hands of minors. And you can make cannabis-containing products at home, such as food or drinks, but you cannot buy. Oh, and you can't use solvents either to make them. So, yeah, anyways, essentially, the fines, so in Alberta specifically, AGLC actually has an offense just for possessing cannabis from outside the AGLC. So if you don't purchase it from one of their licensed dispensaries, you can be looking at up to 5 years in jail. And if you're illegally distributing it or selling any cannabis product, including CBD oil, it's a federal offense that will get you up to 14 years in jail. As a young girl, when I was a teenager, my dad spent 3.5 years in jail. No, he wasn't a drug dealer. But I can tell you that as a child, I would beg you, if you're a parent, please do everything in your power to not breach these conditions, because your family will never forget, and neither will you, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I just want to double check if I forgot to touch on anything here that I wanted to touch on. I talked about legalities, health benefits, difficulty. Okay, accessibility. I talked about the response from Health Canada, how the flower turns into the seed, the full spectrum and the different cannabinoids, the differences. So yeah, I covered it all. That's all I wanted to tell you. I think that, well, I hope that I've been informative and helpful in directing you to make the your next choice on what you want to do and how you want to continue feeling healthy and feeling better and being free from pain and having better digestion and optimal health and all of those things. So if you are somebody who has been selling CBD oil or really wants to get into the industry and start helping people and providing products that will give relief and maybe saving people some money if they didn't know the differences of CBD oil versus hemp seed oil, I do have a business opportunity that is available to anybody. I'll just actually just wait. Sorry, I'm going to quickly show you my website and just kind of give you a quick overall on how you can reach me, what your next steps would be, because I don't want to leave you hanging in the dark. Okay, so now if I share my screen, this is my website. So hempy.ca, just HEMPE.ca will bring you to my website. If you have further questions, this button at the bottom, contact us. You can either phone me, I'd love to talk to you more about this, or you can send me a quick email and say, hey, you're full of crap, or hey, I have more questions, or whatever. I've done a lot of research, so I'm pretty sure I'm not full of crap, just so you know. But you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. I'm okay with that. So anyways, here you can get the food products. Our hemp seed oil capsules are our #1 seller. That's what I started taking with my jaw pain. And what I continue to take on a daily basis. There's lots of food products that you can access here, which also provide huge health benefits. And if you're looking to provide relief to your pets and your fur babies, some people prefer to help them over themselves. I've got a huge selection of products for mainly horses and dogs, but you can definitely give the products to cats or birds or rodents or whatever you've got. Speaking about the business opportunity quickly, just a little bit more here. If you wanted to educate about the secret powers of industrial hemp, if you want to educate people on CBD versus hemp seed oil and be promoting these products, I do have a whole PowerPoint presentation that's ready to go with a script and everything. And you get a affiliate link to the website. You can sprout other enthusiasts. It's not an MLM. It's a simple 2-tier affiliate program. So essentially, if you sprout an enthusiast, that's your immediate sales force, let's call it, and it doesn't go any deeper than that. Our profit margins are very generous, so you can earn up to 38% commission. Our products are all sourced by from local small family Canadian businesses. So most of our products are made within Alberta and BC. I do have a couple of products that come in from Ontario and Manitoba. Otherwise, so by supporting Hempy, you're not just supporting me and my family, you're supporting a network of probably a dozen different family businesses, small Canadian businesses that are passionate about helping other people, providing unique, fun products and solutions for everyday living. The other thing about my business opportunity is there's no minimums, no quotas, no crap. You know, you do what you will with it. Once you sign up, you can forever promote the products, and there's no restrictions that way. So I look forward to hopefully getting to have a more thorough conversation with you. You can phone me, message me on Facebook, Sindel Johnston, or through our Facebook business page, which is Hempy Health and Beauty. I'd love to hear from you and connect. And thank you so much for watching this video. Have a hempy day. Now I have to go back, stop share, and stop video. Okay, see you later.